where we want to start. So I've got 10 flexibility exercises that I've got up at the gym at the moment in the push room. And in black, I can send this to you guys if you like. In black, it's got the flexibility exercise, and underneath in red, it's got the mobility exercise. And it takes us around about, we're doing say 20 to 30 seconds each side. So we're doing 10 sets, 10 exercises. We don't want it to be 10 minutes. It's going to be too long. In a warm-up, it's got to be down to 5. So really, it's going to be like 15 seconds. 15, swap, next one. Because we don't have enough tables and boxes and benches, you're generally getting one person here, one person there, one person here, one person there. So what we're going to do is we're going to start, we don't have your massage bed, do we? No? So we have the massage bed set up. We'll get you guys to practice and do this. You know what? Grab your chair if you like. We can do it as we go through. Let's just go through the stretches that I've got. Firstly, we're looking at our hamstrings to start with. So we're going to look at hamstring flexibility. Someone with those long hamstrings, we're not going to get them to do this. Jake and Dion, do not do this. Probably Tara, up here. Okay? Not going to do this sort of stuff. Okay? Fair enough. So those flat backs, perhaps. Maybe we've identified you do it on one side, not the other. Okay? And we'll do that again in posture day. So what I like about the hamstring stretch, or hamstring lengthening, is you can just vary it from different heights to boxes to benches. What most people do wrong is they forget to get that anterior tilt of the pelvis. So moving that ASIS anteriorly. They forget to do that. They flex through the spine. What's the golden rule with our training? Protect the spine. Always. We always must protect the spine. So it's not about tipping over that far. It's about doing it correctly. I won't get you to do this in a moment. Legs straight. Okay? What we're looking at, guys, is making sure our feet are neutral, not turned out. Because we've got that bulk through biceps femoris, semitendinosus on that lateral side. So what we want to do is have our feet turned in. First mistake people make. Second mistake is that they turn off. So of course now, I can't get that hip back. I'm not going to get that nice stalk position. So just standing in this position, and I'll generally pull my top up and show my clients my back and that sort of thing. This is what I want you to do. I'll probably from in a group, if it's one-on-one, I don't know, I'm touching them. Okay? I need your body upright, standing tall. So if you notice in the mirror, legs locked, not arching and hanging on my ligaments, tummy's in tight, spine's nice and straight, holding this position. Now in this, most of you are going to get a stretch there. I'm getting a stretch, I don't need to move. Period. That's it. That's as far as, not as far as I can go, but I'm at probably 80%, just in this position. Okay? So tummy's on, standing tall, do not crunch, do not flex your spine. Stand up. What you want to do is you need to teach your client this. If someone like Bo there that wants to do this, what I want you to do, Bo, is just posterior tilt through the hip, now anterior tilt. What I want you to do is push your hips and drive your femur back towards the wall. So take this leg and drive it back. What you need to make sure is that everybody, it's not about tipping, I'll show you. Okay? Hips together, put your hands on your hips. Firstly, are they neutral? If you're here, they're not neutral. They must be directly together, straight. Like you've got a level. Stand tall. You're going to get more of a stretch as soon as you do that. Okay? Just gently from here, instead of leaning forward, don't lean forward, what does the hamstring do? Where is it? Think about the connective tissue. Leaning forward is not going to help. What's going to help is by pushing your ischium back to your pelvis. There you are. If you want to make that tougher, being that it is an external rotator, we need internal rotation to the right hip. So what I will do is I'll grab somebody, other way mate, other way. So stay there, perfect, right. Cool. So toes neutral, good. Standing nice and tall, chest up, good. Hold that position. What I want you to do, hold there, toes in, good. You're feeling that, aren't you? Yeah. Just by doing that, I don't need to do anything else besides that. So see this? Now just do the wrong thing, posterior tilt, bring your nuts forward, good. Now gently push your hips back. Pull your tummy in, good. That's it, feel the difference? Yeah. Good. Now if we want to make that tougher, I'm just going to get, that's it, gentle without, no, stop. Stop, I'm going to hold this leg. I'm going to get you to push your tush back. Now, notice what we're doing here. Let it go. So Henry, what he wants to do is when I'm asking him to bring his hip around, do that again. Rotate. It's not his hip, it's through his back.
That was better than the first set, by the way. The first set, you did it more through the back. That was a bit of hip.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is I don't want you to rotate the back. I want you to rotate, get that internal rotate. There you are. Good. Beautiful. Feel that. Now that is a really tough stretch. He's feeling that. We're trying to perk your bottom backwards. Okay, and that's what I'll do. I'll get you feeling that. Try, let's give you a go. Have a bit of a look. So you just want to see where are they? Standing nice and tall, and your foot facing directly forward. So really try to get you coming to internal rotation. Standing really tall for me, holding that position. Just teach them. Just go posterior tilt with the crutch. That's it. Now go anteriorly. Tummy on, standing nice and tall. You feeling that? Okay. If I want to make that a little bit greater, what I'm going to do is really drive your hips back. And just want you to get this internal rotation for me through this hip. So come with me there, gentle. And come back a little bit. Push your bum back a bit. That's it. So this backside, push. There you go. Now hold that and gently. There. How's that feeling? Good. Let it ride up. Good. Now that's a specific hamstring stretch. As soon as we start to roll through our back row, as soon as we do this, we're starting to lengthen the fascia. If you were to take a muscle out, okay? So Simon, who was a scientist in back care and so forth, and I'm sure you've heard of the name and read her literature in America, S-A-H-R-M-A-N-N. She's one of the best known. Simon, Hodges and McGill are the best known in back care probably across the world, their literature. Okay, these are the experts. If it's good for them, it's pretty good for me. I'm happy with that. Okay, that's what they say. Okay? Your muscles are 300 times more extensible than fascia. 300 times. That means if you could cut the bicep, just the bicep out, and try to lengthen it, it would go exponentially compared to fascia. So as soon as I start doing this, what am I lengthening? Fascia, because I'm not pinning that muscle and locking from origin to insertion. I'm not getting that. So there's your hamstring stretch. We can make it higher, we can make it lower. Key is that. And that's why I don't like the ground stretch as much, because people want to tip forward. Why? Because it's less self-limiting. This exercise here, you can do this here, it doesn't limit itself. You just go with it. Gravity feeds it. Okay? So I like that because of that fact. Next one, and again would be on the massage bench, would be standing, and I want to go a little bit higher, standing hip flexors. So what you would do in this position, guys, yeah, you can use that. Yeah, even use that, that's fine. Standing hip flexor position, standing nice and tall, something that's around about above 90 degrees, barbell rack on top of this. Just put your foot there, mate, somebody. Okay, holding this position, what we want to see is that I can lift my chest up, stay here. Now from here, tummy in, notice I'm not hanging here. Lock knee. Lock the knee. Tummy in, drive the hips up and under. Stretch into that hip flexor. Everyone let it go. Okay, we don't want to see, again, the spine must be neutral. Feel that? And what we just want to do is squish your bum and get that slight tilt posteriorly in now, because for us to get that length in the hip flexor, we do need that slight posterior tilt, just gently. Keep your body upright, no flexing through the spine. Okay, so good. Just there, just keep your toes facing forward. Good. Stand nice and tight and tall. Lock this knee out, push your heel through the floor. Heel through the floor, everyone, as I'm saying this, perhaps it'll be the same for you. I mean, this sort of stuff here, I should be on a DVD, and you could be on a DVD. You say the same stuff to everybody. So when you say it's one, it's for most. Tummy on, drive this glute forward, lengthen through the spine, stand nice and tall. Just the back, there. That's it, nice. Feel the difference? So now, really getting the length through hip flexor, squeezing his glute, he's activating tummy and glute, getting that nice length to the ceiling. Try it on the other side. Everyone can let it go. Follow that. Yeah, good. Stand nice and tall. Now you want to look at the key here, guys, when you do this, is watch the knee. Is the knee bent and are they hanging and getting that extension? We don't want that. We want them upright. No different than when you're watching your clients do lunges, do they do this? Who does body pump? Seen that before? Or then this one? Oh. Okay, see that one all the time. Here, stand tall, drop, up, you should be able to stand up on your toe and elongate the spine. Now, for most of you, that is very difficult. Give that a shot. Can you come up on your tiptoes and keep your balance? Good. Keep your balance. Good. Better. Keep going, Sandra, keep going, but come over here. I'm going to pick on Sandra, okay? Go again. Now let's just have a look at this. How will we fix this for hip flexor? I can see there's a problem with hip flexor. Again, firstly, where's she? Go to the heel, go to the heel. Up on your toes. Good. Now just stay on your heel this time. Don't come up on your toes. Just stay on your heel, drive your heel through the floor. Freeze. To upright. We don't have 15 degrees stick from the hip, so what is she doing? Standing through that lumbar. Number one, she's coming onto the front of her foot. She's lacking that dorsiflexion. So there's ankle mobility issues. Simple. That test comes straight down, ankle mobility. She's got an issue. There's the test. She cannot get that position. She's got to lift her heel. That's okay. Yeah, I didn't even get to that. You're right. Yep. So coming from the front. So is it ankle mobility or is it hip mobility? Okay. Go again. Drop back, good, stop. What we want from you is toes up, weight through heel, bottom back. Just tilt your bum like we did that stretch. Like pull the tummy in, good. Good, so she's got that there. She's got that, that's better. What I want you to do is bring your hands like this for me, touch your shoulders. Good, that now gets that extension through T-spine. We're happy with that. What I now need you to do is just push your right knee over left toe, keep this left hip up for me. What I need you to do is that, come up, but this time put nowhere near as much weight on your back leg. So a wholly split squat, a better movement. Go again. Again, she's struggling with that. You see she still wants to come forward? We need to fall forward from your hips, Maddie. You're staying too upright. So tip, yes. Good. Do the same thing, stand tall. That's it, do it again. Stand tall, up you come. Now hold, don't move. Hold. Pull your tummy in, lock your knee. That's what we want. Can you feel your butt? Can you feel your tummy? That's what I want you to do. Now this time I want you to extend your back leg. Okay? Just watch. If she's unable to lock this knee out, that hip flexor is not getting length. Okay? So now tip your bum back. Imagine you're not putting your foot to the floor. Imagine. You can put it down, but you're not to change the integrity of the movement. What's happening is you're going beautiful, 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 and then now all of a sudden you're changing the system. So for you, it's that. Do not load your back leg. Try that again. So we're going to work on that, but what we're looking for here is the lengthening of that hip flexor. Can we stand tall, or because of that dysfunction of the hip, are we compensating elsewhere? And these are the compensations you find, or when people bring their knee up, they'll do this. So they have no hip flexion, so what do? What's this called? Spinal flexion. There's forward flexion of the spine, because they are unable to do this. So we need to teach them to do this. Can you flex your hip? Pattern number one, look at hip flexion. So that is a, I might as well do it while we're at it. That is a flexibility exercise for it, but let's now look at the test. Everyone standing nice and tall, bring your knee to your hip. Pay particular attention, knees to your hip, up you come. Do you flex forward or can you keep your body upright? Up you come, hold it. Keep your chest up, lock the knee out, pull your tummy in, feel your bum. So there you go, that's a glute exercise. It's a hip flexor stretch. It's a stability exercise. So we're doing lots of stuff here. Hold that. Now let the knee go. Don't drop it. Where do you feel it? Keep going. Who's feeling right in this hip flexor? Who's feeling it cramping up? Who let their knee drop? Who's fatiguing and starting to drop more and more? Okay, now do it on the other side. The chest up. Tummy on, lock the knee, bring it up, hold. Same thing, can you hold that position? Keep the knee up. Good, hold there. Hold there. Hold there. What's tougher to hold? Which knee is harder for you to hold up? Which knee was harder? When you did the rolling on the ground, which side of the TFL was tighter? Which side hurts more? You broke the side. Okay, right. Guys, what did you find there? Who felt hip flexor? Okay. Who felt this? Right? So who felt actual hip flexor? Here. Soleus. This is a two-joint hip flexor called your TFL. If you felt a cramp, when a muscle becomes short and tight, it eventually will cramp. Period. It's overuse. So if you feel one side, a cramp through here, and it's screaming at you, the question is why? Because this shouldn't be working. It's above 90 degrees. That's a hip flexor now. Your soleus muscle, which comes in and attaches on the middle border of that femur. Here. So this muscle holds the arm. If you're relying on TFL here, the two-joint hip flexor, you're going to get that cramp. Your knees are going to start to drop. So we've clearly got a problem going on. You won't feel that. You don't feel the muscle that's not working. You feel the muscle that is working. Remember, we've talked about that before. The one that screams at you is the one you don't worry about. It's why it's screaming in the first place. It's screaming because this guy's not working. Does that make sense? Follow me? So who had a difference? Clear. Who was really clear? Dylan, come. Let's use you, mate. Over here. Which, what? No one is?
The right side is a lot worse.
So right side was really hard and big cramp.
Yeah.
Take a leg on your back. Good. So just laying flat for me. Hold that position. Bring your knees up. Good. Stay there. What I want you to do is just gently hold this position. Keep your leg out. Hold this. So we're looking at soleus. Internal rotator. Okay. Hip flexor. Hold this position. Don't move. Push into me. Push. Come on. Okay. Back it off. Good. Again, other side, let's go. So again, look where I am, I'm fixing his knee, I'm driving his hip, hold that from here. Good, and push. Bit of a difference. Does everyone see that? Okay? Big difference. He's got some contractile strength on his left side. So he said both were tight, granted, big difference. I'll give you an example. Now I can see that pretty clear. I don't need to do this, but if I didn't, hold it. Okay, did everyone hear that? Everyone saw the energy that he did. You feel a little, you might have heard a little pop. Hold that. Push. Very easy. I'm pushing him down. Big difference. There is a considerable difference. So that's his soleus muscle. His soleus muscle is weak. We've done this before. We've done this stuff. But I just want to go over doing that standing test. His TFL is tight, yeah? He said, I'm feeling my TFL. So is it tight or isn't it tight? Legs straight, okay? For a TFL assessment, and everybody that comes into your gym, everyone you work with, this is a must assessment. That exercise we just did, pointing at you, don't know why, but that exercise. And then secondly, the internal rotator assessment. So we're going into external rotation. We did the lateral malleolus just above the superior border there of the patella. Hold that. All I'm going to ask you to do is to roll over into that position. Let's see how high his ASIS is off the ground. So face down. So generally you get your clients doing this. So cross the knee, roll forward. Now how many fingers do you have from ASIS to the ground? 30. Measure, be accurate. Okay, so be accurate on 4 finger breadths. Okay, and how tight is it? Where you feeling it? Where's the restriction?
You've got more.
Where's the restriction? Do you feel it tight somewhere? Can you drive your clutch forward? Where do you feel the restrictions? In your posterior capsules, your hip, get more bump, hip, okay, do it the other side. So again, roll here, same landmark, face down. Okay, you can see I'm feeling a difference between left and right. I'm feeling it through my posterior capsule on my left side. And you?
Now, more through the groin background.
Good. And you've got lower?
Yeah.
Cool. So on his left side, he's got better range. So his TFL is tight on his right side. Okay? His TFL screamed in the standing hip flexor assessment. Screamed at him. Okay? It's not working. What we now would see, if we were doing a Thomas test, which we shall do, is the actual length of that muscle. So over here, Dylan, sitting with your bum bone on the edge of the bench, knee up to chest, and hang. Let's see where that leg goes. Can you do that? Okay, from one side to the other. Right up and hang. There you go, just let your knee go. Okay? So we're not going to go right through a Thomas test, we'll do that again. Next time, so this is his left side, so we can see his positioning of the knee. We got neutral, that's about 0, if not slightly better, which is good on his left side. Does everyone agree? Yeah. We can see that, and his left side was strong. Why? Because it's got good length. So it can contract. He's here, he can contract it. On the other side it's tight, there's no way for him to contract, it's running out of room. It's not sliding correctly. Okay? So while we're at it, we can sort of look at his positioning. Do you want me to quickly go through a Thomas test? Quickly, hold here. So what are we looking at? Firstly, in this position, this is ASIS alignment. Yeah? Cool. Number 1, we look at hip flexor. Just relax your head, mate. Is your knee relaxed? Yeah. That's as much as you can get in knee flexion, is it? You can get a bit more out there. Okay, so the average is 80 degrees. He's probably a little bit tight and rect fan, a little bit perhaps. Okay? Next thing we're looking at is the winging of his knee. So if I get him to flex, and by the way we are low, I normally put this bench up on a couple of steps. If I'm doing a quick one in the gym, okay, just pick your step out and put the step under it so you get an extra 6 inches or so. Hold that. If I look at his TFL, I'm looking at what sort of movement he has. Just bench your knee. Good, let it go. So what we're looking at here, guys, is this. His left side TFL is a little bit tight. I can tell you this because look where his knee is. Look where his toes are. They're slightly turned in. Just slightly. It's not a big deal. We're looking mainly between left and right side. Okay? He's just slightly turned in with his toes neutral. If it was really tight, it would be turned in, and then you have this tibial external rotation. Turn your toes in. That is a tight TFL. Okay? Turn your toes the other way. Bring your knee to the right side. Much better. Try both sides, guys. Good stuff there. Nice. Good. Just be careful flattening at your back. You can do that ready. You can see the arch going. It's costing you flexibility. You're not going to like this. See this? Do that. Lock your knee up, keep your chest up, and push your bum with it. You need to lean forward. You come in here. Chest up now. Don't smash. Lift your arm. That's it.
Which way do you rotate?
No. That's right, exactly. Reasonably, stay there. Where you are, just never that's where you need to be. So everyone sees that. Now, neutral, shift your level. Big difference. Now, less pressure to that. Cool. Now, to do that, I used to grab it in that position. Okay, next one. Pec stretch. So we know this, guys. Pec stretch, 2 positions. So this is the way it would go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 3 from there. We're going to go into floor stretch. 4, 5, 6 here. 90 degree and 120 degree for both fibres. Lean forward both legs. When you do this, though, let's get a bigger bang for your buck. We don't want to do what you want to do, Tara, which is this. Okay? What we want to do is push your heel down, pull your tummy in, squeeze your butt, drive your hips under, and now what are we lengthening? Hip flexor, calf, chest. What am I turning on? Tummy, glute. Not letting go. For one muscle to be length, something should be short. Okay? So we're going to do that. Then we're going to go through, and I like sort of a high bar. This would be too high, but you know in our rack, guys, like this, the high rack about there, whatever, it depends on your client. So in this position, left leg behind, we're going to go lateral sling stretch. In this position, right, that comes across. What we don't want to do is bring our legs forward. You need to make sure you have no backward rotation. Hips are neutral. Hold this position. The key here is not to reach across, but to push your hips out. So we're looking for ITB, glute med, TFL, QL, lats, through their entire lateral sling. And we're trying to open and pull away. So you know those guys that when they're lunging, they're doing this? Okay? We want to open up through that thorax. Open up. So anything that gets them to... And I really like this. This is one that my trainer's done with me, and I hadn't thought of it before, but a loaded press with some breathing. So he'll get me breathing. Big breath in, opening up and try to reach right out to just get some length through that QL whilst it's under tension. And I'm finding that really works with some of my clients. Not always. Sometimes I get a better result from this, then I need to tinker with that, or I need to try this until, right, that split squat looks much better now. Fair enough? That's what I mean by tinkering. It could be any of those. Cool? So there's an extra 2 stretches that we have there for flexibility. Cool. If we missed anything, you don't need to do those. I think we'll leave that at that. But there is a full body flexibility program. Sorry, quad. What else have we missed, mate?
I'm trying to think now. I've got the
10, I reckon that's only 8. Quad's 9. Up against the wall, why I like quad, as you can see we're doing lots on the hip flexors for the guys that are in this position. The ball. So I've already explained the 2 balls through the spine for T-spine. Okay? So here...
No, did that. You
Yeah, sure. So in this position, guys, again, not here. Here. Tummy, squeeze your bum, get that posterior tilt, get right through that rec fed. Everyone, find the wall, give that a go. We will try that one piece. So against the wall, feet up against it. Again, you might want to pad under your knee.
It's right in front of the camera.
No worries. We did do one. It's fine. So 2 hip flexors. Yes.
It's better than
Okay, so we've done that, guys. So just think about this. I'll put this onto the trainer's website. Okay. Yeah. Good. To finish with, 3 on the bench. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bench. 4 to the floor. 5. Okay. 6, 7, 8, against the wall, 9, and 2 balls, T-spine, 10. Okay? That is Mike Boyle's flexibility circuit in that order, but slightly different. Slightly different. Same sort of stuff, he does that, but the techniques are a little bit different based on what I find works well. He's not so specific about that. I really like that sort of thing, it makes sense. Okay? So that's how I would use that. I like it for a group setting for majority of people. Of course, mate, don't do that one for you. Yet you know not to do that. When you're one-on-one, you would say, I'd rather you do this. And you generally give them something else. That's where one-on-one comes in. Cool? Let's go into some mobility now. So, how can we then integrate these warm-ups? It's pretty simple, through mobility. Mobility teaches patterns of movement. So mobility is a great way to lengthen muscles to get you blowing. A dynamic warm-up gets you blowing. It should get you huffing and puffing. We're going to do 2 lots of warm-ups now. That's probably all we're going to get through today. And the rest will be strength conditioning and the exercise progressions next time. But I'd like to do the warm-up and the mobility section now and a bit more on the corrective stuff. Okay? So I'll see you around and I'll put an agenda together over the next week for next time. Can be a workout for some. So mobility can be a workout for many. If you get people moving, it's going to actually be a workout. For me, it's simply a high intense warm-up. Okay? For others, they're finished. That's enough. I've got a client that never ceases to amaze me with big guys. I'll get Chris Dino, one of our members, and I'll get him doing this, and after 5 minutes, his head in his hands, and all I've got him doing is single-legged step up, some of these, and a few rotations. You know, I remember when he first began doing that. Now he's much better, and he's my size, but really strong in his upper body. And that's, for that sort of person, that'd be enough. Someone with a low CV base or a lot of muscle mass, getting them doing endurance exercises, they're cramping. So we're trying to get them to learn to buffer lactic acid better. So for them, great to do at the beginning of a workout. It's also a great form of conditioning after your workout by doing these exercises, conditioning for CV work. Okay? 20 on, 10 off sort of thing. This is where functional training experts live. I'll explain this. This is the functional guys, the Chuck Wolves. These are the guys that do this. For me though, and my explanation is, it's really that. It's just a warm-up. For most of us, it's a great way to prepare our body for movement to what's ahead. So we'll come back. Let's go through this. Cool. Mobility training. Let's get started with all of the patterns, and I've already gone through a couple. First things first. First day, we want to look at our squat pattern. So everyone, let's make some move. Let's make some room. Let's get into a circle. Do this. Bring ankle. There you go. That, not glutes. That is a tight sartorius muscle. Sartorius is an external rotator. So what happens is you rotate and the toes now come in the opposite to the TFL. If his leg is straight but winging and can't move, what is that? Glute max. Because it's all out together. Okay? The whole thing's coming out, and it's probably glute max, ITB. Okay? So again, internal rotator, TFL, you'll be rotated, and generally the compensation is this external rotation from your fibular tibia joint here. Okay, the lower leg moves by itself, remember. There is a joint here that will allow you to invert into. Okay, other side. Over that knee up to your chest. Relax. Okay, so firstly, it's better in the rec fem. You can see that, so he's got more range in rec fem this side. Why do I say that? On the other side, he was out here, wasn't he? That's rec fem. Okay? But he's tighter in his hip flexor, strangely enough. Okay? So if we'll go through the exercises one at a time. He's tight, he's above zero. This is weak because it's tight. It's a weak tight. Does that make sense? Okay? His hip flexor is doing this. So when he goes to exercise, there's nothing there. Okay? Cool? So we can see that clearly. Anthony's pointing something out. What is it, mate? We'll just hold that there. Good. And the difference on this side, look at where his knee is, guys. Look at where his toes are. Doesn't seem to have that tight internal rotation on this right side as I would have thought for TFL. Okay, we did that specific TFL test, but TFL, you should be more like this. But your toes are pointing out. This looks more glute maxing. This looks more glute max. So ITB glute max. I bring this across, certainly tight through that area. So what I've found, better length here, tighter rec fem, and there's a bit of winging. I'm thinking ITB. On this side, he's in this position, so it's definitely hip flexor. We've already seen that, it's tight. But he's winging. Now, it confuses me because on the floor it's his TFL that was tight on this side. Okay, that was lacking. But he said, I'm feeling it more through here. So I'm now going to go on to a specific test for it. From here is when I go to the floor and do his TFL testing. Does that make sense? I wouldn't have done that before. This is where you start. Okay? Then I'll do that, and now I'm going to go and look at his glutes at the same time. So take a lay down on the back for me, mate. Cool. So let's just have a look at glutes in this position.
Thanks, Dan.
Check, guys. Thank you. Okay, holding this position. I'm just going to go into these rotators. So here, what's he got? On the left side, we knew that was okay. Very good. Good 45, 50 degrees. On the left side, okay. Other side. It's not coming up as much.
sort of full exercise is not coming out as much on this side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You said that the right side was tight, but it doesn't look as much. So yeah, that's good.
What was that?
So I guess we're really looking for balance between the both, mate.
Okay, but about 80 degrees and about 30 degrees for this position. So it's got a bit of range there. That's no doubt. That's that hip flexor. So that now 2 plus 2, that's a definite. We've now qualified that. Does that make sense? What I'm looking at is glute. Holding this just gently, just relax. All I'm looking for is resistance 1. Now it's important, if I'm at 0, I'm just going to go to where his resistance is, there. And it's going to be the same on both sides. Otherwise it's going to be out. So we're looking at what, 30 degrees? Just gently coming up towards your sternum. Resistance kicks in about there, yeah? Just, it's not going to be hard, it's resistance 1. R1 is when we kick in. Now it's basically taking the rubber band and taking up the slack. So we've taken the slack up, now let's see how far we can stretch that rubber band. Really aggressively push the knee towards his face. Hold that position. Gently, just from there, just coming forward. Just seeing if you guys are awake. Coffee's kicking in there. Okay. So just feeling that range, R1 to R2. Other side now. I'm going to write this down, Dylan, so we're going to do okay. Go to 30 degrees. Right there. And big breath in. Let's see where the resistance comes in. Breathe it in. He's got a little bit more with his R1, but there's a lot more tension on this side. So the tension kicks in and there's not much going on. I don't have much room to move. Does that make sense? So I think if I look at this again, that was more of a position. It's more of where it is. Maybe you already had a bit of built-up tension. Does that make sense? He was sort of resisting, maybe anticipating what was to come. So it's not always black and white. That's a grey area. On this side, it's clearly tighter on that side. Breathe it in. Here, it's just comfortable. What's resisting is his foot. Okay? What's stopping is this. So big breath in, just gently. There. Big difference. See, his foot's fine on the left. On the right side is where he's winging out. So interestingly enough, we've got right side dysfunction. Very, very common. Okay? Certainly for guys, sports players that jump and run off with one leg, which Dylan does. So in this case, what Dylan has is a tight hip flexor and a tight hip extensor. It's all gunked up. Okay? We've got to do a little bit of work there. So what we want to do is we want to lengthen out the hip flexor by doing the Thomas test. In your case, face down, turn over. Let's do our next exercise today, which is our third stretch on the right at the moment. So from here, what I want you to do, so was it? It was. Right, okay, so go 90 degrees, then come away from it 45 degrees to the left side from the outside. Yep, so left side's the outside. Yep, now. Okay, stay there. So holding this position, what I want you to do is you're not to turn. You're to bring this leg up and across. Think about what Solus does. Think about the insertion, where it is. Bring it up and across, and not too much. 45, not 90. Yeah, you need too much. Okay, up and across, and let's get that navel leg under. Tummy in, you can feel that. In and under, you might want to bring the box down. That's okay. Okay, up and under. Good. Hold that. Bring it across so you would see it coming. That's okay. You can use a wall.
So that doesn't play hockey without training, mate.
Hold that, hold that. Now, what he's going to do is he's driving his hip this way and he's upper body towards me. That's it, turn in, that's it. Pull your navel in and drive that hip under. How's that feel? Good, are you feeling that through that psoas? Yeah. Okay, so think about the movement. What are we doing here? What's he getting? The position. So he's really focusing through again, psoas on this side, which attaches. If you're in this position, you are shortening your psoas. Okay? We want to lengthen it from here to here. We need to keep our body upright to lengthen and pull that away. So in this position, he's coming across the body. Here, across the body gives you more length. Think of these 2 points. Closer together, further apart. So we're pulling that muscle apart, getting that length. So, Cut a long story short, I've just done a couple of things, we're a little bit off direction there. From that test, look at what we can get. We went from a standing hip flexor test where he's doing this. Right, dysfunction of the hip. Why? What do I need to inhibit? He's got some stuff going on the glutes, we haven't got into that yet. Okay? So what we're doing is we're going to lengthen out that hip flexor, give it some work, but at the same time we now need to turn it on and teach that hip flexor how to work correctly. Okay? So to teach that hip flexor how to work correctly, the first place to start, which is like phase 1, and then phase 2, 3, 4 of hip flexor training, is lying supine, leg lifts. Laying your back on the bench there for me, Dylan, please. Cool. Bring your left knee up. You've got enough room for it, but you can't do that. Put that out there to the side, just let that go. Just let your leg go to the side. Alright, so let's teach you how to use hip flexor. Everyone's seen this, you've done this before? No, anyone not seen what we're about to do? Okay, cool, we'll go through it. So let's go through. What we want to do is turn on the hip flexor. So this is now hip flexor activation. Just gently, very gently, let's see you turn TR on, very low level. Okay, now what I want you to do, that's number 1, TR on. Number 2, I want you to pull your femur against me so that the ball comes up into the socket of the hip. Go. Not your leg, your femur. This. Let's see you pull in and up. There. Shut off. I'll move more movement there, okay? Just let your body go. Navel in. Okay, activate the flexor. Go. There, stop. Now, bring the knee up. Bring the knee up, not the foot, mate. That's all hip flexor. You can feel that, can't you? Here for one, because you're thinking about your foot. Here we go. Okay, gently, stay there. Navel. Pull against me. Go. Pull against me. This. And not the foot. Go again, pull against me. There. Okay, forget the foot, mate. Relax this. Big knee. Big knee. Okay, it's a hip flexor, not a knee flexor. If you're knee flexor, you're going to kick into these muscles. Relax. He's having trouble with this. Perfect example. Navel in, hip flexor, activate. Yeah, good. Now bring the knee up. You're starting to feel in here more. Straight up, bring it straight up. That's it. Right up. Good. Back down. Let's see you do that on your own. Relax. And relax. 3 steps. Turn off. 3 steps. What were they? Number 1, slide activation. Number 2, hip flexion. Number 3, bring the knee in. That's it. Good. Again. If they start feeling this, you're feeling less here and more here. When you do it wrong, do you feel this? Good. So now you know what it feels like to do it right and wrong. We're going to teach that hip flexion. Okay? Rather than this or this. Okay? We want to teach this muscle to do its job. Standing nice and tall. Cool? So guys, please have a try. Let's see if you can stretch. If you're good enough, can you just go around, use the boxes, there's plenty of stuff. I want you to think on your feet, do the 45-degree box hip flexor. Stretch. Excellent. Good boys. Fantastic, mate. That's good. Yeah, so check when you come down. That's okay, yeah, you can use that, that's fine, yeah. Use that, you can use the treadmill, that's what you do. Stand on your left leg. You're stabilising. If you play basketball and you push up the left leg, so if you are right-handed, you're generally left leg dominant, guys. If you're right-handed, you're left leg dominant. You throw the ball, what leg do you jump off? Your left. Okay, if you throw the ball here, what weight do you put your pressure on? Your left. Yeah, all those movements. So that's how you feel that through there. There can be tearful, but let's just see you bring the knee up to your chest. See it's happening. So stand tall, lock the knee up. Yeah, keep that foot straight, lock the knee. So you just move the leg flexor. And a lock there. Stand tall. In and out.
God, yeah, God, okay.
Look at the difference.
Yeah.
When people do this, that's good enough. This. Get in there. Yeah, get in there. Yeah, so they're coming and you want to bring around. That's it, good. Towards me. Yeah. Coming through that position. Cross. Shoulder. That's it. Okay, and from there, that's where, spot on. That's where you can bring your arms up like Greg's doing, but again, it's quite advanced rather than twisting this. Okay, kind of have to move on, guys. We're getting a bit overexcited with some of this stuff. We'll do. Next time we get together, guys, we're going to do full movement screening. Okay, with an assessment tool. I'll give that tool for you today in the trainer website. So after today, within the week, guys, please go back to www.trainers.pushtrainingsystem.com.au and I'll have a screening tool, which is all the tests that you should be doing with your clients. If you're not, you do them now. Okay, with all this stuff. Okay, so it'll be in there, won't have all the explanations of it, but at least we'll have the test. The explanations will come on top of that, so I'll add that in there. So this is stretch number 3. Stretch number 4, we've done 1, 2, 3. Let's do some adductors. So what we're looking for here is short adductor. Stand tall. What we're looking for is mainly drive your bum up and under and elongate. Again, we're always looking for this, so for you this is a good one. Tall. Here, for most of us, working in this position again, if you want to go further, that's going to get right into short adductor, adductor brevis, and pectineus. These muscles here, brevis and pectineus, are your short adductors. They attach to the immediate third of your femur. These have a different movement pattern and a different action to the other three adductors, the gracilis, magnus and longus. They attach down here. So that's that attachment. Oh, by the way, I didn't roll adductors, guys. I can't believe I didn't roll them. That's so important.
We don't need to do that.
Adductors are crucial, guys. That's the one muscle that most people miss out on. You roll your adductors and you roll it through here. Okay? And then you've got to come up and roll up into your bits. Okay? Because this here is where the short ones go. Oh, look. You can call it whatever you want, but when you're a PT, you've got to speak in language people understand. So I'm very loose with my words with my clients because they get it. Oh yeah, it's got it right. So always. Now notice a good test or a good stretch. That's it. There you go. So come in with this point. So you don't want to hang when you should something about your careful of that. Right, good. Next one, really simple. Dan, I'm sure you've done this before. Flora, the old school martial arts. Let's see you bring your legs out. Good. Good luck. So push. That's it. Good. Holding that position. Good. So now we're looking for our long adductors. So in this position, chest up. Notice what we're doing here, guys. Not rounding our back. Okay? Hands would be here if you're doing with a partner. Now elevate your chest. Open up. Okay? So from here up, back, down, always. You feel the difference just by doing that. So if I want a little bit more, I'm going to pull you forward. Just gently. Just gently. That's enough. Because now where's he getting the movement from? If it's here, guys, if my back's flat and I start, it's a no-no. So for me, where do I stop? Cool, that's it. Good one. Spot on. That's the position. It's a nice stretch. Long adductors. Try it against the wall or the partner. Here we go. Go against the wall. Girls, women, generally, you know, spreading the legs being a lot more. Girls. Great one. Good. Tara's got great flexibility. Good feels for us. Getting Tara's got good. Commonly, hamstrings and
The guy that's here. Okay? The long hip flexor. Boom. I can't do it because I'm short, but right down. That's a long hip flexor. Okay? So the flat back guy. This guy, long hip flexor. We're going to do some exercise to work on their hip flexors. That's one of those exercises. But if they're also long in their adductors and not me, a great way to train your hip flexors, exercise number 1 I just did before, exercise number 2 I'm going to show you in a moment, exercise number 3 is just training above 90 degrees. Chest up, hold this position, okay, from here, bring the foot in. Okay, in this position we're getting hip flexion, external rotation, okay, off the hip, internal rotation, not in this position, here. This is working your adductor. So imagine I had a band now around my leg and I was moving up the cable. Okay, imagine we can watch. This is, by the way, set exercise 3 for hip flexors. Okay, we want to get that nice ballistic lift at the bottom, and we don't want this. It's this, up. That's key. Okay? Make that harder and more functional.
No worries.
Okay, what's working? Big bang for your buck exercise. What's going on here? Hip flexor, adductor. Adductor, okay? On this side, these are my short adductors. Again, brevis, pectineus. These adductors are also hip flexors. They attach. If you look at the anatomy of them, they attach, they work in hip flexion. Whereas our long adductors do the opposite. Okay? They work in extension based on the movement. So they are a different movement pattern. They adduct, but they also work in extension, which is why often some people who have tight hamstrings have tight long adductors, not short ones. Okay? Generally they'll be weak in that position because they're long here. Does that make sense? Okay, so I think these are 2 different muscles. Short adductor, long adductor, different exercises for both. Okay? To test adductors, the bench test for an adductor stretch, or a length assessment for adductors. By the way, you know the balls that you get in the old girl, yeah, these work my insides, they do, okay? So they're great exercises. A lot of people with weakness in those adductors, these are great exercises for them. Step over lunges, a great exercise for adductor. Okay, excellent movement. Step across lunges, excellent exercise for hip flexors, and adductors are really good exercise for those people with weak hip flexors. Fantastic. Okay, if you've got a sled, so I'm dragging Anthony in this position, watch what's happening. Okay, across the body. That's all adductor, push away, boom. So as I'm running from here, that's all adductor. Great exercises. Those 3 will probably be your best, those patterns of movement, powering away from the sled or dragging someone along. Great adductor flexion exercises. Okay? Back to what I was saying. Alright, never mind. Got off. Next one. Sorry?
You forgot, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. So next one. What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next one for flexibility, external rotator. So we go 1, 2, 3. Same exercise here. I might just use that bench if I can. What you want to look at is this. What people will do when they lack hip internal rotation is what? I'll ask them to lean into it and I'll do this. Hip internal rotation is different. So chest up. We don't want this. Okay? We don't want, you'll see this 9 times out of 10, which is why high bench is best. Rather than doing it on the ground, chest up and just drop through. And just hold that in that position. Okay? If you want to support them, their back flat, keep some neutral spine and get their hips moving. Okay, let's give that a shot.